Right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is a 60-minute flow class. And if we're not familiar with each other, I'm Katerina, and I'm going to be leading your class this morning. I'm a regular teacher at Moto Yoga London. Hey, Tanya, good morning. So we're just going to give folks a hot minute to sign in. It'll just take a second here before we get going. And I just wanted to say that no matter how you are doing this morning, this class is for you. So, if you're feeling kind of tired, and a really great class for you then might look like laying on the floor and visualizing yourself doing the movements along with what's being instructed. You can have a really powerful practice in that way, believe it or not. And then if you're feeling super energized and really awake and ready to rumble, then feel free to join along as I guide you through this class. Okay, so you'll need a mat. If you have something that's yoga block-like, Ajit. Oh my God, Ajit. Om Namah Shivaya. Good to see you. If you have a yoga block, that would be awesome. If you don't have one, grab like a thick book. Something that's roughly in the shape of a block would be awesome. And we will get rocking and rolling. All right. So let's get started here. So you can get onto your yoga mats and set yourself up in child's pose at the back side. You want your yoga block at the top right-hand corner of your mat. So this class is inspired by the Moto Flow series, the Moto Flow sequence, with a little bit of creative spice. You can reach your hands forwards, bridge your knees, or keep the knees together. And just settle the front of the forehead down onto your yoga mat. Take a few breaths into the back side of your rib cage. I'm just going to turn the music down a little bit here. And then you're going to bring yourself forward into a tabletop position. We'll begin with a little bit of gentle movement in the spine through some cat-cow. So on your inhale, you can sink through your chest, lift your gaze, lift your tailbone up. And as you exhale, think about drawing the navel in, rounding through your back and pushing your hands into the floor. Inhale, slide the chest forwards, lift up through the sits bones. Exhale, round through the spine. One more time. Good stuff. Come to a neutral spine. Now we're going to turn the hands out just to get into a little bit of wrist warm up. Keep the fingers turning outward, but then kick your right heel back in space. Do your best to keep the right hip bone facing down. And lower the right leg back down onto the floor. Turn your fingers to face maybe one hand back towards your knees, maybe both hands back towards your knees, and then stretch your left leg back in space. So we're kind of like multitasking here. We're taking the wrists into some new shapes as well as starting to warm up through the legs and the core of the low back. Place your left leg back down, turn your hands to face forward, and we're going to come up onto fists. So you can seal your fingers in towards the center of the palm, close your thumb over your fingers, and then you're just going to reach your right fist forward in space. So thinking about moving through the shoulder blade, lifting it up towards your ear, and press your knuckles forward. Just noticing what's going on in the left shoulder, the right shoulder. And we'll switch sides. So right hand down and then lift your left hand up. Firmly press your right knuckles down and into the ground. You almost want to feel that your ribs are moving away from the floor and up toward the ceiling. Good, now place your hand back down onto the ground. That was great. Spread your fingers out really, really wide and tuck underneath all your toes. Draw breath in through the nose. Exhale, lift the knees off the mat and press back to downward facing dog. This is called Adho Mukha Svanasana in Sanskrit. And give yourself a minute here to kind of wiggle this out. So freely pedal the feet. Bend the knees. Just warming up through the back chain of connective tissue in the body. Especially in the morning, this feels usually a little bit tighter, stiffer. You might notice that if you ever practice in the evening versus the morning, there's definitely a change. And from here, inhale, come forward to a high plank position. Option to lower down onto your knees or stay here. We're just going to take 5 slow breaths. You want to have your shoulders above your wrists. Dig your fingertips into the ground and lift through your shoulders. One more long breath. And as you exhale, you're going back to downward facing dog. Good. Okay, let's do that one more time. Inhaling forward to high plank. If you'd like, if your wrists need, a little bit more time this morning, come down onto your forearms, forearm plank. Or you stay up on the hands. Press up through your thighs, lengthen forward through the sternum. And again, downward facing dog. Move all the way back. We're just warming up through the core a little bit further here, a little more load in the shoulders. Last time, high plank, inhale. Glide the body forward like you're moving through, cold water. We're here for a few sweet breaths. Extend forward through the head. You almost want to feel that you're pulling your armpits back and your chest forward. Okay, downward facing dog. Oh, that should feel good in the shoulders. Okay, let's go to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the heels up, bend at the knees. And then exhale, walk forwards, all the way forwards to the front. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, sweet half lift. And with a soft breath, you can exhale. Press through both feet, rise up. Inhale, lift the arms into the air, lift the gaze. As you exhale, bring your thumbs down to your heart. And just take a minute to feel your feet. So your body is like an instrument, and it's capable of making sweet music. How do you want to use your instrument today? Let's start to warm up even more. Inhale, lift the arms. Gentle lift in the gaze. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Hands to shins or fingertips to the floor. As you exhale, hands to the ground. Step back to high plank position. Lower your knees to the mat and point your toes. Super slow, count of 5. We're lowering to the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forehead to the mat. Inhale, cobra pose. So starting to warm up the muscles that run along the spine. Exhale, lower your body back down to the ground. Press through your hands and your knees. Go back to downward facing dog. We're here for about 3 breaths, and I welcome you to spread your fingers and toes. Soft breath in through the nose. Soft breath out through the nose. Just going to take one more. Inhale, come back to high plank position. Now you can lower your knees or not. Again, 5 counts to get down to the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Touch down. Good job. Inhale, cobra pose again. Little bit of a back bend. Exhale, press through your hands and your knees back to downward facing dog, and you're again going to take 3 deep breaths. Right, now you're really tugging on the right hand, or sorry, on the left hand. Inhaling back to center. Split the hands about shoulder width, and as you exhale, bend down to Utkatasana, bring your thumbs to your heart. Prayer twisting to the left, inhale. And then exhale, you rotate, revolve around the axis of the spine. Take 2 more breaths. You just want to check in with your mind. Like, is your mind having an enjoyable experience? Or does this feel like a struggle? Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, twist the other way. And if it's not feeling enjoyable, what's missing? What's the missing ingredient here? Inhale, draw the arms back to center line. And then as you exhale, forward fold over the legs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Hands to the mat, and here you can jump through to low plank or step back. Inhale, up downward cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so we're building on that last vinyasa. Inhale, reach the right leg up and behind you, point the toes. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, exalted warrior. You're going to stay here as you breathe out. Inhale, straighten your front knee, kind of like lean back a little further. And then we're moving forward to Trikonasana. So you reach your right hand forward and down. And this is where you're going to use a block. Block underneath your bottom hand, lift the right arm, your top arm rather, high. So see if you can find if you're subtly back bending. And if so, what would it be like to kind of just draw these frontal ribs just down a little bit, and see if you can then breathe a little more into the back of your ribs. And look down at the front big toe. Take your top hand onto your top hip bone. We're going to launch forward into crescent moon. So right hand underneath the shoulder. Float your left leg up and back behind you. And then you have the option of lifting the left arm up towards the ceiling as well. Let's take a few deep breaths. Okay, last big breath in. Now as you exhale, bend your front knee, come back to warrior 2. Inhale back to exalted warrior. So we're getting into this nice sort of fluid movement. Exhale, helicopter, hands to the floor. Step back, high plank position, and I'm going to add in a little spice. So we're going to not come into a back bend here. We're going to just come into a little chaturanga push-up. Exhale, halfway down, and then you press back up. If you're game, you can do 2 more of those with me, or you can opt out and go to down dog. Exhale, halfway. Inhale up. 1 more time. Good job. Go back to downward facing dog and inhale, lift the left leg up and into the air. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Crescent lunge, inhale, arms high. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, exalted. Stay here as you breathe out. Inhale, straighten the front knee, arc back as far as you can, and then pivot your body around into Trikonasana. Block underneath your front hand, lift the back arm high. Now you want to see if it's possible to energize the legs at all. Think about lifting your kneecaps up toward your hip bones, engaging through the quadriceps. Okay, half moon, top hand to top hip bone, bend the front knee. You want to step your left hand forward and slightly to the outside of your front foot. Transfer the body weight into your left leg and then float the right foot up high. You can lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Think about kicking out through your lifted heel. And imagine that that foot was against a wall and you were scrubbing the foot up the wall. Get more into the strength of your top outer hip. Last inhale. And then exhale, you're bending the front knee. Go back to warrior two. Inhale, exalted warrior. And then exhale, helicopter, hands down to the ground. Step to high plank position. Option to take 3 more chaturanga push-ups with me. Or you say no thanks. Down dog. Hey, exhale, halfway down. Inhale up. Let's do 2 more. Downward facing dog. Holy smokes. Deep breath in through the nose. If you feel the urge to sigh, let her go, let it out. And your in-breath, lift the tiptoes. As you exhale, bend the knees. Step or jump through. Halfway lift. You have forward fold. Let this be an active forward fold. Now you're going to heel toe your feet about hips distance apart. Pistol grip your big toes. Bring your body weight forward to the balls of the toes. And now you're going to bend your elbows out to the left and the right. And sort of traction your spine towards the ground by drawing up on the toes. Now see if in this pause you can use this as rest. You're trying to make the breath as subtle as possible. Taking a minute to calm the heart rate. Okay. If you'd like for a little shoulder stretch, you're going to interlace your hands behind your back and you can hook your thumbs. And lift the arms above your head towards the ground. Lower the hands back down onto the floor. Coming into Malasana, little yogi squat. So walk your feet apart, turn your toes out with your heels in, bend your knees and sit down. Now if the dorsiflexion in your ankle just isn't available right now, for a lot of us that's kind of a limiting factor. So you might actually would just sit on the floor and step your feet further forward. You see that creates a lesser angle in the ankles, but you still are able to get this really nice stretch and opening through the inner groins, okay? So if you're up here on your feet, you really want to be, well, you do this if you're seated on the ground or up on your feet, you're lifting through your heart. Now you can absolutely stay here, especially if you're feeling like, wow, that morning, that first half of class is kind of pushing it for me. You can just chill here. If you feel inspired to take Bakasana or crow pose, place your hands on the floor, spread your fingers out wide. Lift your hips up tall, walk your feet in together. Your elbows are going to bend backwards in space. Okay, lift the knees, place them on the backs of the upper arm bones, lean forward, and float your feet off the ground and hold. We're going to see about a 10-second hold. 5, 3, 2, 1. Step your feet back down onto the ground. Step back either to move through high to low plank, take a vinyasa, or you're just going to come into down dog and hang out with me. Those of you in down dog, I'd like you to feel like you're almost pulling your hands towards your feet. So instead of pushing the ground away from you, can you feel like you're pulling your feet and your hands together? lower the back toes back to the ground. Step back to high plank or down dog. Skip the flow. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, heart up. Yeah, exhale, down dog. Bend, soften knees. Exhale, walk or jump forward. Exhale, feet down. Inhale, halfway lift. And forward fold. Right his arms up, inhale. Exhale, right arm underneath left. Cross right thigh over, tight bind. Can you breathe into the back side of your ribs? Without overdoing it. It's never at 100% really in any practice. We're always looking to conserve, recycle our energy. Just like the planet. Inhale, right leg up. Step back, warrior one. Small back bend. Start to curl the heart high. And then unwind the arms. Inhale, lift the arms up. Warrior two as you breathe out. Inhale, exalted warrior. Okay, exhale, left hand to a block on the inside of the front foot. Sweep the right arm up near the ear. We're here for about 5 breaths. It's only when we're holding postures that we get to realize or consider, observe the fluctuations of the mind, i.e. that means just our own thoughts. When the body is still, it's easier to see the fluctuations of the mind. All right, inhale, come back up, warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Turn your toes to face towards your right side of your yoga mat. And then this side for a wide-legged forward fold if you'd like. You can interlace your hands behind your back or hook your thumbs. And just fold, reach your hands down towards the ground. Sometimes it's amazing to shake out the head a bit. Open and close the jaw, and you just notice, what's being held in the body we're so often just not aware of. Which is really no fault of our own, We can't be, with so much stimulus coming in, it's hard to stay aware of all of our bits and pieces throughout the day. That's why we practice. That's why we have this practice. Bring your hands down, walk yourself around, pivot to face forward, step your right foot in and wide. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Pyramid pose, exhale, fold over your front shin. Okay, walk your hands forward in space, float the right leg up and back behind you, standing splits. You want to see if it's possible to squeeze your right bum and hamstrings, and that's where this lift is coming from, not just the low back muscles. If your balance is feeling quite confident, you might reach your hands back towards your tippy toes, the lifted ones. Okay, hands back down onto the floor, step your feet together, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left leg back, low lunge on the other side. It's like a hallelujah moment, Sink your hips down, you can lift your heart. And then left palm to the floor, step, reach, bend your right heel towards your bum and catch it with your toes. Fold the heel in towards your seat. Place your foot back down onto the ground. Here we go, we're gonna step back to high plank position, option to move through a flow. Enjoy. You wanna see if there's an enjoyment of your practice. Is there an inner smiling in the inside of the mouth and the heart? Back to down dog. Okay, we're gonna go forward again for a few balancing shapes. Inhale, heels high. And then as you exhale, walk or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're gonna play with a bit of a funkier transition. So take a pistol grip around your right big toe and lift your left hand up onto your left hip. We're gonna take this foot all the way up to stand either with a straight knee or a bent knee. Bent knee will be less load in your low back. So the knee could be bent, right? Your foot would be in here by your bum, or the leg is out straight. If your knee is bent, here I'm gonna ask you to take hold of the front of the kneecap, and we're all gonna turn the leg out towards the right hand side. Same deal with the left arm, reach it out to the side. Okay, you're gonna take this leg, woo! Take this leg back into center. Place your foot to the inside of your standing leg. Bring your hands together to your heart. Tree pose, Vrikshasana. On your inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, lower the arms down. Soft arms, soft hands, like branches and leaves. Inhale, the arms go up. Exhale, the arms down. So kind of like soothing the mind with these soft movements. One more time. And definitely challenging your balance. Now take your right foot back behind you, catch hold of it with your right hand, lift the left arm high. Begin to kick back into Natarajasana, dancer's pose, holding for just 3. Inhale, work your way back up. Place your right foot on the floor, lower your arms, little shoulder roll. Inhale, lift the arms back into the air. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then as you fold, pistol grip your left big toe with your left fingers, right hand to right hip, and here we go, we're gonna stand. So leg forward and up, or bent and up. Either holding the big toe or gripping around the front of the shin bone. Turn, pivot the leg out to the side, and then play with learning balance. Okay, take that lifted foot to the inside of your standing leg. And let's add in those little soft arm movements. Inhaling, lifting, soft hands. Exhaling, lowering down. like you were taking care of your mind and your body by checking in. Like you would call up a good friend during this quarantine and be like, hey, how are you? How are you doing with all this change, all this newness? And you check in because, you know, you love your friend. All right, let's move into our floor series. So we're going to come forward onto our forearms and step the legs back to a forearm plank position. And of course, you're welcome to be down on your knees. So a little modified variation. Otherwise, the knees are up. And what's really, really interesting is to try to play with drawing your tailbone down toward your knees. And when you do that, you can try that a couple of times, like poking the bum up towards the ceiling and then try drawing the tail under. And you'll feel like this really interesting, you want to see if you feel this interesting engagement through the low belly when you do that. Now at the same time, are you able to kind of really lift your ribs up and away from the floor and dial the sternum slightly forward? We're just going to be here for about 10. Good job. Okay. Lower down, you're going to take a little rest. Make a pillow with your hands. Place your forehead onto the backs of your hands. And then lift back up. Come back up onto your forearms, but now you're going to lift your left elbow up and turn your right fingers to face the left side of your yoga mat. So the whole forearm comes out to the side. You're going to bend both knees. And we're going to pivot over like in a swift transition into a very modified side plank. So from the knees and from the elbow. Now you'll notice that my elbow is not directly underneath my shoulder, it's slightly forward. And usually that feels pretty great. Usually that feels nice. Consider pulling or dialing your right chest under, forward. And maybe you want to lift your left arm high. Maybe you want to lift the left knee up and hold. Okay, can you almost press the pubic bone forward? Dialing the heart under for another, say 10 seconds. Good stuff. Let's change sides. Lower your left knee down. Thread your left arm under. And you're going to rotate on your knees to go the other way. Lift your right arm high. So just getting familiar with this base shape before we add on more complexity. Can you get your left shoulder blade more on your back by kind of pulling your left ribs forward? That's feeling all nice and dandy. You can lift your right leg up. 10 seconds. Okay, good job, you guys. Lower your leg down, lower your hand down. Roll around down onto your belly for Cobra. Place your hands by your chest and then inhale, lift your heart. Okay, exhale, lower yourself back down. Locust pose, reach the hands back. Inhale, lift the head and legs. And exhale, you come on down. Tuck your toes under. Option to press through your hands and knees, or to come up through high plank to downward facing dog. I'm just going to scuttle back onto my mat. Okay, step your knees up to the back side of your wrists, toes together. Walk your hands back, a little quad stretch. Draw your tailbone forward, lower back. Press up through your heart, lift your head. We're going to work our way back up through the hands. Draw the knees together. Stand big up on the knees. Tuck under the toes, and you can have your hands on your hips or hands on heels as you lift your heart. Arc your body back. Okay, pull yourself all the way through. Cross your shin bones and then roll back over your feet. Place your feet on the ground. We're going to lie all the way down. From here, press right up into bridge. Lift the hips. This is Setu Bandhasana. You can have a long hold and bridge, or those of you who feel like you're like to come into a wheel with me. Hands under the shoulders, press your body up and away from the ground. Parallel the inner arches of the feet. You want to see if you can breathe abdominally. Lower yourself back down with control. Bring your arms out into a T-shape, bring your knees into your chest, and you're just going to gently lean your knees a bit side to side to get some movement through your low back. We're going to begin to rock and roll along the length of the spine. Hands behind knees for support or no hands. On your next rock forward, step back to down dog. And if you feel very strongly about moving through another flow, I won't hold you back. Those of you who are satisfied, go right into pigeon pose with the right leg to the right wrist. If you're moving through a flow, you're just going to be with us in pigeon when you become, settled for it. You can lower yourself down if you'd like, or you can stay upright. I'm going to choose to stay upright. And then sit your body over onto your right hip, swing your left leg forward and through to come into Parivrtta Janu Shirshasana, revolved single leg forward fold. Turn your chest towards your bent knee. Slide your left arm to the inside of your leg and reach your right arm overhead toward your toes. Inhale, draw your heart up. And then exhale, you fall a little more. Okay, lift yourself all the way back up. Take your right hand to the floor behind your body. Inhale, lift your hips up, as well as your left arm. Lower your body. You're going to turn around, actually. Pivot on your yoga mat to face the other way. Little surprise. Again, if you'd like to move through another flow, I won't hold you back. Otherwise, you're going right into pigeon with me. Left leg up. Foot to the left knee. Knee. Foot to the left knee. That would be impossible. Knee to the left wrist. Lower down or stay lifted. You pick. Sit over on your left hip, swing your back leg around for Parivrtta Janu Shirshasana. Chest faces your right, no, that's your left knee. Slide out, side bend, lift the left arm. Come all the way back up. Left hand onto the ground behind you. Inhale, lift the pelvis. Yawn, extend, bow the front body open. And pivot all the way around to face towards the traditional front of your yoga mat, down dog. And you can step your feet forward between your hands, cross your ankles, and take a seat. Kick out both feet in front of you. Seated forward fold. Inhale, arms high. Flex your feet. And then exhale, you're hinging from your hips forward, forehead towards shin bones. Stretch your hands forward and lift yourself all the way back up. Place your hands on the floor behind you. Bend in both knees. Inclined reverse tabletop. Lift your hips up. If you have no sensitivity in the neck, then you can look back behind you, otherwise chin to chest. Okay, lower your hips all the way back down. We're gonna lie back down. I'm gonna pivot the other way. This is sort of your last chance for a bit of water before Shavasana, so take it if you need. Line your body down, bring your knees to your chest, and you're going to lower both knees down to the right. Now if you'd like, you could have your top hand on your top thigh. You can look towards the left. We're going to change sides, bring the legs back to center. And then you can lower the knees to the left, maybe gaze to the right. So we're moving towards the close of class. And this is where we really want to be supporting our bodies in calming down. So again, this would be, in scientific terms, what we would call stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. And one of the best ways you can do that is through your breathing. So you want to be starting to calm the breath, taking quieter and quieter breaths. And bring the knees back to center. And if you feel like you'd like a little, happy baby before we come into Shavasana, you can. Just take the soles of the feet to the ceiling and pull down using your hands. Or you could just be holding on to your shin bones, in fact, if that feels, more comfortable for you. And then we're gonna, whenever you're ready, really, you can take your time. If you feel the urge for any other final postures before Shavasana, then please go for it. Please, please, please go for it. Otherwise, we're setting up for final Shavasana, final corpse pose. You can reach out through your legs and arms and stretch out the back of the neck. We're going to kind of calm the body in a really systematic way. So just lift the right leg a little bit off the ground and feel the muscles engage around the right hip and thigh, buttock, and lower the right leg down. And then you're lifting the left leg up and just sensing those muscles tone and engage, firm. And then lower that muscle, that leg down. Squeeze the muscles in the bum and see if it's possible to get the hips off the ground. It might not, and that's okay. And then you lower the hips back down. Lift up through the right arm, just sensing the shoulder, the chest. And lower the arm down almost tenderly. And lift up through the left arm, sensing the left chest and shoulder. And you place the arm down. And lift through the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you really nice and firmly. And lower the chest down. And then last, we'll just press the head into the ground, engaging through the back of the neck, and then release. Okay, squeeze your facial muscles into a really sour face. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then open your face up really wide. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, open your eyes, lift your eyebrows. And then let go. So take care of any final fidgets that you need in order to be comfortable in Shavasana. So I'm aware of my feet and my legs and my hips. I'm aware of my feet, my legs, and my hips. My feet, legs, and hips are completely relaxed. I'm aware of my belly, my back, and my chest. I'm aware of my belly, my back, and my chest. My belly, back, and chest are completely relaxed. And I'm aware of my hands, my arms, and my shoulders. I'm aware of my hands, my arms, and my shoulders. My hands, my arms, and my shoulders are completely relaxed. I'm aware of my neck, my jaw, and my face. I'm aware of my neck, my jaw, and my face. My neck, jaw, and face are completely relaxed. I'm really aware of my whole body lying on the ground. I'm aware of my whole body lying on the ground. My whole body lying on the ground is completely relaxed. From this relaxed place, I can allow for whatever crosses through my field of awareness to manifest and pass without holding on, without pushing it away. My mind is as expansive and vast as the blue skies that we have this morning. And just like clouds can form and pass across the surface of the sky, I allow for my thoughts, my emotions, my body sensations to manifest and pass, because my sky or my awareness is so vast that I have space for all of it. I have space for every piece of my human experience. It all has a purpose and a meaning and something to teach me. Every day I'm learning. I'm as vast as the sky. So sincere thanks for everyone who has showed up for class this morning. It was such a pleasure to be with you over the last hour. For those of you who are not quite in the loop about Moto Yoga Online's classes, do consider checking out that program. As members of this community, you have a free first month with the coupon code LDN. And it's an amazing resource. There's tons of great classes. It's sort of like Netflix for yoga, classes on demand from teachers around the world within the Moto community. So check that out if you ever have the time for it. It's a great way to be supporting Moto Studios as well. So thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Be well, and I'll just close with the wholeness in me acknowledges and bows to the wholeness in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. You're welcome, everybody. You're so welcome. Oh, hey Sherelle, I didn't know you were here. Hey Branka, You are so welcome. Love you too, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.